Yes, that's the way to start your morning. And also with my sweet voice, of course. Hi. I hope you're doing okay. And you know what time it is? It's Saturday. And I got a mod afterwards, which means I get about a couple of hours to Hi Mary's. To talk about shit that I like talking about. Which this day is usually about martial arts. And that's what we're gonna do. So, 1 second here as I bring over this beautiful thing. And let's start with something very simple that is like 8 minutes and nothing else. Like literally 8 minutes. Um, and it is every martial art that works in a street fight. Now, okay, I have a lot to say already. Like just by the title, I have like so much to say just by the title existing. But I will not do that. Instead, I will filter my sound on my end. Then I will lower it from here a bit more. And then after that, I will do a little sound test to see if you are like getting.
Boxing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's gonna go down by a lot. maybe even a bit more than this. So maybe here, maybe somewhere there. Let me see.
Boxing is one of the
Nah, bro. Is it okay? Can you hear it properly? Boxing. Boxing. Seems okay.
boxing. Boxing is one of the oldest and most proven strike.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. Let's go then. What would work in a street fight? I will listen, and then I will give you my opinion of what that even means, what the context means, and what's going on with this icon over here. So, okay, listen. All right, okay. So I'll tell you one thing. First of all, this, and this are the same, except this one is solo. And if you combine this and this, it's the same as this and this. So this is like, well, okay. And then, I mean, this is unique, I guess. And then this is like helping a patient in a hospital bed. This seems combative. Okay, so this one gets a pass, I guess. But this, hmm, hmm, I'm interested. I'm interested in what's going. Listen, this is either somebody helping an elderly person off the street, or it's something I will probably see in my Skyrim modern installation. From street fight to street love, yeah, yes, that is what happened there. Interesting icons, all of them. I particularly like this one because it's helping somebody either lie down or comfort them, or something cool is going on. And this, yeah, that's also cool, and it's my second favorite color as well. So this checks out. Um, okay, but let's see. I'm not gonna start with the obvious. What is a street fight? What do we mean? Well, and all that. Like fuck all that. Maybe in the end, if you need me to explain, you're a lost cause anyway. So, but I will try to frame it afterwards. Jokes aside. First, I want to take it as it comes. So obviously, I'm going to assume that when the person says a street fight, they mean an environment with like random dangers and then environmental obstacles and conditions that may not be favorable. The type of or Maui Tai, yeah, I mean it's amazing. I assume that's the context, and the context of like being surprised perhaps and having like debuffs and everything, and your clothes are not comfortable and everything like that, right? So I will assume that's what they mean in a street fight, because I refuse to accept the notion that somebody would in 2025 who knows what they're talking about would be like, a street fight is when it's real, bro. It's when it's real, bro. But if that's where the argument goes, I will immediately stop and like start addressing that like super immediately. First, let's see. And I'll give you my opinion on all of these things that are going to be said. Notice that I didn't say on each style, but on the things that this guy is going to say.
Boxing. Boxing is one of the oldest and most proven striking arts in the world. It started in ancient Greece as bare-knuckle combat and was refined in 18th century England.
I am not going to historically confirm or deny anything that is said. I don't care for their historical mistakes, if any. I'm here for the martial arts.
With rules, gloves, and weight classes. Today, it's practiced worldwide and built around one core idea: efficient, powerful punching. It teaches you how to throw fast, accurate strikes with your hands, while also showing you how to defend. Head movement, footwork, and blocking are drilled constantly.
Yes, but it is also self contained because it is separated from other arts. So you are prohibited from using a lot of your natural arsenal.
Result is a system focused entirely on timing, reaction, and control.
It can give you these, but that doesn't mean you have to contain yourself and restrict yourself. It's not like if you don't learn any other martial art, or if you don't practice as a martial artist, that is a better way to say it, there will not be a point where you will say, oh, time to practice my striking and precision and timing. Of course there will be. So basically, what is boxing? It is a set of restrictions on how you can strike, and then a set of how to take advantage of these restrictions and work around them to create the best possible result. It is effective in a street fight, like restricting yourself in that way, or let's say that your legs are injured completely and you can't really lift them or whatever. It can help to have a skill set where you can rely on your arms, but why separate the style? And why pretend that if you learn any other discipline, which you should learn all of them basically, if you can, why should we pretend that like you need to switch modes from boxing to something else, and when you're switching mentally to boxing, you just block yourself mentally from using your legs? That would be stupid. Instead, take what's best from all worlds and combine it and learn and maybe even teach one day. These separations are nonsensical. Are arm strikes and hand strikes useful in any situation? Duh. Like, do you drink water? Do you breathe air, dude? So, but is it boxing that is actually no? It's just the fact of like striking with your arms. That's never not going to be useful. So this is an utter and complete garbage statement that is like unnecessarily restricted, just like boxing is unnecessarily restricted, unless you view it as a sport, at which point sports have to have rules. And therefore, yeah, you do your best within the rules and you will reap some benefits. You're going to get a certain physique. You're going to, I mean, of course, but is that exclusive to boxing? Or is that something that will not happen to you if you, say, pick another martial art and decide to focus on your hand strikes? No. So, any other person who includes like striking with their hands, yeah. So how do you classify that then? Unless the question is, could a boxer, like a dedicated boxer who doesn't give a shit about martial arts, survive a street fight? I don't. Could a meteor fall right on my house right now? Maybe. There are so many parameters that are like this is nonsensical to even speak about. Yeah, maybe they could. What's their attack here? What's the situation? Like, what's happening? Like, yeah, they could, I guess. Like, is that what we're saying? Because if that's what we're saying, then that changes completely the perspective from which I'm coming when I say these things, right? But I think, but I think because of how this is worded, it's not every sport, every combat sport that works in a street fight. It's every martial art that works in a street fight. And what is a street fight and what defines it? And like this is such a fucking clickbait.
In a street fight, that kind of control matters. Most fights start on the feet and end within seconds. Boxing prepares you for that first chaotic moment. It teaches you to keep your hands up, stay calm, and land before the other person does. A jab to the nose can stun someone. A cross to the jaw can end it. And
Yeah, every martial art can borrow these. Every martial artist, I should say, can borrow these. What makes boxing so exceptional? To be worth separation, first of all, which no.
if the other guy is swinging wildly, your footwork and defense help you avoid damage. You learn to slip, pivot, and get out of the way.
But you learn that like as a martial artist, these are like bread and butter, my dude.
Or disengage completely if needed. That's something most martial arts don't emphasize enough.
What? You mean maybe most combat sports?
Thai. Muay Thai originated in Thailand as a form of battlefield combat, used when weapons were lost and hand-to-hand fighting became necessary. Over time, it evolved into a structured combat sport known as the Art of Eight Limbs.
Okay, so yeah, I don't care about the historic stuff. Like you
Referring to
don't.
the use of fists, elbows, knees, and shins. It's a
Yeah, you use this in other martial arts. Like as a martial artist, you should learn that you need to use this. Yes, Okay, what else is next? Does it warrant a separate martial art? No. Does a combat sport where you're only allowed to use these, similar to boxing, only allowed to use strikes? Is that like, does that have merit? Yes, it does. I mean, it's like it's sports. It's combat sports. You can you can like, would that be useful to somebody learning actual martial arts, like a combat sport? Would that be useful? Yes, if you kind of like separate yourself from the necessary um, discipline that a combat sport requires, where you're not allowed to use this and that, you have to do things in a certain way, blah blah. Can you kind of like delete all that and keep the various interesting ideas, such as, for example, yeah, it's easy to use my arms, they're very predictable, more predictable than lifting my leg. Like, yeah, like, yeah, sure, I guess. Why not? I don't know. But nothing so far in Maui, excuse me, Thai, Maui Thai, excuse me, that must be something new. Um, yeah, that there's nothing there that is like, oh my god, these guys use their elbows. Yeah, so do like a billion other fucking strike techniques. So what? Like, okay.
It's a striking system built around maximum efficiency and damage, using
I mean, yeah, you should go for maximum efficiency and damage, as well as movement conservation, stamina conservation, and movement economy and strategy, as opposed to like just necessarily only ever hitting with your shins, which can also damage your legs long term. Because let's not forget that martial arts are also about health. All right, they are also about health,
every part of the
not reducing it, increasing it.
body as a weapon. In training, you learn to throw elbows that can cut, knees that can crush, and
Ah, yes. These parentheses are yes, because for example, knuckles will not, damage skin. Am I right? Only elbows can damage skin. It's not like knuckles are like mini elbows, kappa. But yeah, you can use your elbows that can cut, and you can like use your knees that can crash. Okay. And your cock that can fuck, I guess, and your mouth that can suck, and like, what are these parentheses, man? I don't know. Anyway, whatever, dude. And so, okay, here is the thing: you do not compromise your position just because your combat sports Maui, excuse me, Thai instructor is like, yeah, throw elbows that can cut. No, I'll use whatever the fuck the situation demands because that's strategy. Obviously, it's like the 40K meme. Like you got the commissar on the fucking Bane blade, and he's like, "Driver, take me closer. I need to throw my elbows that can cut." And it's like, "But sir, we have a fucking Bane blade." Like, no, take me closer. I'm not saying that would never be the case. Maybe you want to flex. Maybe it's easy for you. Maybe it's preferred to you. Maybe this, maybe that. But why not train everything else as well? Why sabotage yourself? Again, that would be a combat sport where strict restrictions apply and you need to do that or you get disqualified. But what it says in the title is every martial art.
kicks that can stop someone in their track.
Yeah, yeah, legs can do that. Legs can stop someone, just like arms can stop someone, and slamming the door in their face will also stop someone.
The roundhouse kick is one of Muay Thai's signature.
It is not a signature move of Muay Thai, of Maui, excuse me, Thai. It is a strike of a certain description for a certain reason. Completely shown wrong here, by the way. Um, so I do know, bro. I will say this though. First, the retracting, especially in this case, no, just go fuck yourself. No need. But this step 4 here, like the only reason I would like have my foot like this is if I'm in such a situation where like my opponent is extremely close, but I still have to use an extremely disadvantaged limb to strike an extremely advantaged target, which is a head, with my shin in a distance where I would rather use my knee and much lower because I don't want to be pushed. I'm not quite sure what the idea here is, but if the idea is to strike at a distant target at leg's length, which means you're using that part, then you would want this to be like this, ironically, and not like this, because you need to strike with this and not with this flat surface. And you don't need to exaggerate this much with your movement. Yeah. Ah. So I'm gonna stop calling it Maui Tai because the guy who wrote it is disrespectful there. Check your fucking spelling, you moron. But I'm gonna say that like there is no signature move in any separate style. There are no separate styles. In your head there shouldn't be. So there should be no signature move in your head either. It is a method to strike a target depending on distance, your own flexibility, the conditions, everything. Like it's just a choice.
Your weapons, using the full rotation of the body to generate serious force. You also
Yeah, you can do. So here's the interesting thing. If you want to strike at something using your leg the same way that you would use a staff, where you would swing it coming from the side, yeah, you can. Sure, that has its own benefits, and especially if you're coming off a natural turn for any reason, maybe you absorbed the blow, maybe you were pushed that way, maybe you landed that way. It's not impossible, but this one is more like okay, you're sacrificing some speed and precision for like a more blunt approach where you just charge it and unleash it, and then if something is in front of it, you hope you're going to cleave it, and you hope that like you don't do it wrong because otherwise you're going to hurt because it's your whole leg being used as a staff, and somebody can block that, and depending on where they block it, on which location their block lands on your strike, it might create like a whiplash for your knee. That's not gonna feel good. um, Yeah, it would require you to tense your leg as well quite a lot to deliver such a strike. Why would you do that? I don't know. It's also very taxing, like physically. You can train yourself to do that, but whenever I see somebody going on a tree and like literally doing like 50,000 kicks like that to the tree and like ruining their shins and like, and all that, I'm like, okay, so why don't you take 1/10 of that energy and apply it to learning an actual martial art, and then apply 1/10 of that to achieve, defeating an opponent, for example. Because there's also like a diminishing returns after a while, right? There's diminishing returns in how badly you can damage your knees and shins and they'll heal. So there's diminishing returns in that healing factor. uh, there is diminishing returns in what you can achieve with like 50,000, 60,000, 100,000 kicks. You know, there comes a plateau at one point, and you need to be able to recognize it. And once you hit that plateau, you necessarily need to let go and start over. And that is part of what we're saying what we mean when we're saying martial arts is an endless journey, because not because you have to learn to do 50,000 kicks instead of 1,000 kicks, but because after you reach 1,000 kicks, you have to let it go and reforge yourself, destroy your self-image, and recompose the picture, and take it from the beginning. See what you did. Let's say I'm writing a book, and this is a true story. This has happened. Okay, let's say I'm writing a book. Doesn't matter what the content of the book is. I'm not a poet. I'm not a fucking I'm not a writer. But let's say you're writing a book of any nature, and then once you feel like it's perfect, you go like, all right, I'm not gonna publish it. I'm gonna like completely forget about it. Let me put it in a drawer, and when the time is right, and you'll know when it's right, yeah, I'll open that drawer and I'll read it. And if you do that, there is a chance that you're going to go, oh, it's immaculate. In which case, two things may be happening. Either you didn't change at all, or your circumstances, so you lack basically, new inspirations and all that. Maybe three, okay, but the third one is rare. Or three, you literally created something immaculate, which please publish. And there is also another choice, which is like you're gonna see it and you're gonna go like, what the fuck am I writing here? Let me just fix this and that and that. And by fixing that, eventually, more realistically, you're going to strike gold with it. And this is also your body and your spirit in martial arts. That's you. That's literally you. So drop it. Go back to where you couldn't even lift your leg, and then start lifting your leg again. Re-educate yourself, see what your contemporaries have found out, see what modern science says, modern methods, modernize it, relearn it. There you go. It's an endless journey of self-improvement, exactly as advertised. Who could have thought?
Learn clinch control, how to control the opponent's posture, shut down their offense, and strike from inside with short, brutal.
You cannot tell me that this is something that no other art or style or combat sport doesn't incorporate. So essentially, what this boils down to, so for boxing, what it boiled down to is here is a combat sport, and if you're ever involved in like a dangerous situation, don't forget to restrict yourself completely and rely only on your arms. And then there is also Muay Thai, where according, and all this is according to this guy, of course, right? I'm not saying that all boxers will teach you that or whatever. According to this video, right? So the video is stupid, not anything else. And so according to this video in Muay Thai, what you learn is basically here is a telegraphed, over glorified fucking kick. Have fun. Use that. Use that so many times that like your legs are like blue and red everywhere.
Attacks. This becomes especially useful in a street fight where space is limited and punches get wild. Most untrained people swing with their arms. Muay Thai teaches you to.
Most untrained people are going to literally crash into you with arms flailing, or will try to imitate boxing because it's easy. So again, there is no real certainty. And honestly, don't get me wrong. Like honestly, if I see somebody, we've talked about this before. It's the whole cheating thing, right? We've talked about it. If I see somebody who just threatens me or whatever, and they're like trying to do something wild, high chances are I am going to try and push them with my body. I am going to try and slam into them and throw them off balance and fuck them up. It's easy. It's not hard. All it takes is like just finding the right moment and then pushing into, just like ERP. And then yeah, that does a lot of damage. Like that, throwing someone off balance in the street, that does a lot of damage. Like the pavement is hard, dude. It hurts. What if you land on a fucking corner of the pavement there or the sidewalk? It hurts. There's like so many things that can hurt you. Maybe you land into a fucking what do you call those? Like a hydrant? Is that what you call them? Like those short things where the fire department connects their, is that like a hydrant? I don't fucking know. But maybe you smash into that, or maybe you smash into another person, and the person is holding something. Oh my god, it's a bottle. Oh my god, it's cracked, and now you are, you know, like you don't have to be fancy, and this is something that people know instinctively to do. Like slamming into someone is something people instinctively can do. punching someone is something people instinctively can do. So when we say somebody comes in with arms flailing, we more mean like um, they're going to try their best to throw a punch, multiple punches. If they are unaware or uncaring for possible danger to themselves, they will try to close the distance and like push you, you know? They don't literally become a cartoony meal of punches, right? Of like winding punches. That doesn't happen. Some people have done that. I've seen that. I've actually seen that in front, with my very eyes. I've seen that. I've seen somebody attempt to like literally windmill someone. It didn't end well. Not that the other person was like trained or anything. It's just that the other person was equally as untrained. So all they did was like literally just push the guy really hard, and they fell down, and so. But in reality, most people will just try to throw punches. They will still try to move around, you know. So I thought this all like deserves some clarification. You can't assume that your opponent is going to be so stupid that they're going to like just literally arm flail. Like I've seen it once in my life. That's the one time, and I just described it, and yeah, it just you have to be exceptionally stupid to do that. You have to be exceptionally stupid. Um, so don't really base on the fact that your opponents might be exceptionally stupid.
Step in, grab the neck, control their movement, and punch.
I mean that's just so my guy is now just describing like a very generic like technique, like a very generic like manipulation that you can do, like a grab, literally in Tekken terms, like yeah, grab the neck, hope they don't break it because oh boy, if you go for the neck immediately, like it's so fucking predictable, and it's like yeah, you have to be careful with that, and you have to be careful of the distance and how to close it, and like it's not step one, step two, step three, and then profit. Like punish them, finish them. Mortal Kombat. That's not gonna happen, my guy. Move
Punish
on
them
with
with
your fucking
knees and
life.
elbows. You're
Yeah,
not
nah.
backing up, you're closing the gap and taking control.
No, no, no. You're not going. You're not closing any gap and taking in control. Let's fucking
From
go.
moving altogether. Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu started with Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, but it was in Brazil where it was transformed into something more practical, especially for smaller fighters. The Gracie family focused on adapting techniques so that leverage and positioning could beat strength and size.
Ah, yes, something unheard of. This is completely unheard of. Playing to your strengths and like adapting the techniques to your shape. Yeah, but I've never heard of that before. Never ever. Let's make a whole different like martial art for it. Okay, cool.
It wasn't about who hit harder, it was about who knew what to do once the fight hit the ground. BJJ is entirely based on control. You learn how to take someone down, hold them in place, and finish the fight with a
Yes, yes, you learn all of that just the same way that your opponent is learning to counter all that. But again, regardless of you calling it jiu-jitsu and limiting yourself to rules and restrictions, the only limit is how your body works and how creative you are. That's the real limit. There's no other limit. Your knowledge, I guess, your experience, how much have you practiced something.
submission, like a choke or a
Why would I not try to go to the ground if like if I want to, even if what you think I'm doing is boxing, all I'm doing is using my arms out of like strategic preference. What in the world makes you think I will not react to be taken to the ground if my training is like holistic, if that's a word, if my training is a complete training. How like so you see how much damage. The point I'm trying to make is, do you understand how much damage these restrictions do, and the separations in styles do, and the justifications? There is no justification. It's usually like well, I had a good idea while learning this, and I completely got polarized by this, and now I call it that, and all I teach is that, and all I train is that, and I believe it's the best. I will never say it, but I do believe it's the best. Maybe it is with with restrictions in place. I don't fucking know. If you take a boxer into jiu-jitsu match, I guess the boxer is not gonna have fun. That's my guess. I don't fucking know. In the sense of like they can't, they're not allowed to go to the ground. That's not what boxing is as a combat sport. So you see what I'm trying to say though. Like this is like the most stupid kind of like video you can make.
A joint lock. You also learn how to escape bad positions, recover guard, and stay calm when someone's on top of you. In street fights,
Staying calm when someone is on top of you. I'll tell you how you learn to stay calm when somebody's on top of you. Well, first of all, you can find a friend and tell them, okay, and this is something that I did, for example, right? I must have mentioned this like 10 times. So I'm afraid of large people. I'm fucking afraid of them. Always have been, right? They're large, dude. They're like, I don't know, they're fucking large. So what did I do? I had a large friend. In fact, that friend was like built like a refrigerator. And I was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start on the ground. You're going to be choking me with your fucking huge, not cock, but your arm. And then I'll try to just see how I feel about it. And we're going to do that until I can actually kind of think. And I'm not thinking, oh my God, what a huge individual. I have no chance. And you know what? It worked pretty fine. But I don't know any jiu-jitsu. I just did that because I'm kind of a smart person, I guess, sometimes. So why would you? So would you say that I coincidentally did a jiu-jitsu technique, or would you say that there is no point in separations like that? I don't know, man. I think I know my choice.
this is critical. A lot of real world fights end up on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, if you let them, if you let it go to the ground, yeah, it will end on the ground. That's for sure.
Someone slips, someone tackles, someone grabs your legs, and suddenly it's not about striking
Yeah, it can happen. That's why I'm asking what defines a street fight then? What's the situation there? What's going on,
anymore. Most people panic once they're down. BJJ teaches you to stay composed. It gives you a plan.
Yeah, that should be every martial art. Like why is it only jiu-jitsu? Like, yeah, I
You
don't
don't
know.
have to throw punches. You don't even have to hurt anyone permanently. With BJJ, you can end a fight by cutting off the
Yeah, no, you don't have to hurt anyone permanently. You just cut off their fucking oxygen supply to the brain and then leave them a fucking vegetable forever because you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, it's simple as that. No harm done, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Let me fucking cut the circulation of blood into your head and oxygen, and then like let me just leave you lying on the pavement without any idea of like how to resuscitate you if I need to. And then I'll just run away because that's like of course I will. Like I don't want to get fucking jailed, imprisoned. Fuck, Yeah, there's absolutely no harm.
blood supply to someone's brain or hyperextending a joint. Clean
Yeah, let me just. I'm not gonna hurt you. Let me hyperextend your joint until I hear a cracking sound. It doesn't hurt though, trust me.
effective, and fast. And
Clean, effective, and fast. I mean, if a boxer, by this own guy's definition, if a boxer gets a clean hit, that's clean, effective, and fast, and you'll go down. You're gonna crash like your fucking Windows 96 or something. There wasn't any Windows 96, by the way. But yeah, you're gonna crash. Like yeah. So why is Jiu-Jitsu getting the description of clean, fast, and efficient? Like we already established, your hands and striking with your hands is it doesn't get any cleaner. So why don't they give the same to boxing? They could, which is also what I'm saying. Like separations are stupid.
And because it relies on leverage, it's one of the few martial arts where a smaller person can control
No, it's not. It literally isn't. It literally isn't. It literally isn't. A lot of manipulations, a lot of joint and joint locking and manipulating techniques rely on the same physics. Your size doesn't matter that much. Okay? it still matters after a point. There are thresholds of comparison between the two combatants, of course. But you have to adapt, and you have to, like, that's where experience comes in. What should I use here, and how, and all that shit. But this shit that this guy's talking about is fucking making me lose my mind.
Or finish someone much bigger. It's not perfect. It doesn't deal with multiple attackers well, and you don't want to stay
Yeah, I mean, so yes and no, but not about jiu-jitsu. Like, forget what I'm saying about this isn't about jiu-jitsu. This is about combat. Cool. Is it possible for you to deal with multiple attackers if you have to, while also controlling a single person? Yes. Is it possible? Yes. Yes, it is. And it is possible through various means, but we have to break down the whole thing. But I'm gonna simplify it for the sake of simplicity. I'm gonna say this. Let's say I don't know how you manage that, okay? But okay, let's say it happens. You have somebody in an armbar, okay? All right, cool. You have somebody in an armbar. Now that means that you have completely finished the technique. I don't know how you manage that, unless your opponent is incompetent. But let's say you've completed it, right? And you knew how to do it, and you knew exactly how to push them and drive them into the ground in such a way that they couldn't fucking escape with the roll, and you managed it. All right. Now the resulting scene is a person on the ground with their face pressed against it. Okay. And their arm is firmly secured, I will assume. Now, can you deal with like other opponents coming in? Well, yes, it's possible in the sense of how are you holding down the person that you applied the armbar to? Because there are many ways to secure somebody in a position. Let's say if you need them secured in that position, there are ways. Well, not many, no, but there are a few ways to keep them there and compliant, relatively, not completely, but relatively. And there are also ways to be securing your hold on that person in such a way that if they tried to wiggle out, you wouldn't have too much trouble quickly reapplying your manipulation if you are fast. So is it possible? Yes, it is. Because some positions in which you can end up in uh, can allow you to rotate your body and your head and like detect incoming threats, and could allow you at least one free arm, at the very least one free arm, if not also a leg. And yeah, you could. Also, no one is to say like, but here's the question though. No one is to say that you have to keep applying that lock, right? Nobody is saying that you need. Okay, so this is a bigger discussion. So I'll be right back. And once I'm back, we're gonna go into that. So because that's interesting now, not the video. What I'm saying, fuck this video. But I'll be right back. I'm back. So here's the thing. Um, let's. The only way that I would accept that you're in such a situation is because you basically failed to see the potential ambush there. Probably. When engaging, it's always best to do it like in your favor. So when you have a numerical advantage or at least equality, right? Um, but let's say that like okay, so let's like how would you get in that scenario? It's alien to me. So okay, you were jumped by someone, but you were superior. At which point you managed to apply a hold, and that hold wasn't broken. At which point you decided, all right, I'm going to completely dominate this opponent, and therefore I'm going to just like completely devote my resources, as in my limbs and my thinking and focus on like applying this strange like technique that I learned yesterday, right? I'm gonna do that because it sounds fun. And because of doing that, you have failed to notice that like you are basically ambushed, right? Which that's your failure right there. You know, at that point and on, you might as well ask for a cheat code. But let's say that like you are in that situation and you realize now that like, well, this fancy technique that you've applied, right? It requires your whole body. So now you're left with two options. One option is to completely eliminate the opponent that is currently in your grasp, right? If not eliminate them, well, definitely disable them, uh, which can cross over to elimination like really quick, by the way, especially in a stressing situation. Maybe you hold that soak a few seconds longer and the person just dies. Like it's a bad situation for everyone involved anyways. But let's say that like yeah, you choose to be safe. You do not want to take the risk of that person rejoining the fight without you realizing, so you just for better or worse decide in the moment that like killing them as fast as possible would be the best. It's probably you will not have enough time to do so. um, so that's the first issue there. That's at least not enough time before you get a kick in the face or something, right? Which yeah, at that point you probably deserve it. So could you have done it in a way where you would still retain control of that opponent uh, without risking deadly injury, but possibly severe injury to them, and less risk to you? Yeah, absolutely. So in that situation, which is the smarter one, would you like be able to defend against multiple attackers? Yeah, yeah, it's possible. Yes, depending, you know, because sometimes when you're holding somebody, even in an armbar, right? Let's say that you simply do not have the time to commit resources to completely reaching the end of that technique, right? But it's still there. And yes, the person is wiggling and they're trying to escape it. And maybe they know how to do that very easily, in which case, just disengage with them. Like, quite honestly, fucking disengage with them and then strike them, you know? Um, but let's say that they don't do that. Let's say that they're kind of wiggling. Okay, cool. You're still holding them. You can still kick them very easily. They're within reach because you're holding them. You can apply pain through striking just to keep them in that same more or less position with your hand still grasping theirs, you know, gripping theirs, where that might allow you to attempt to reapply the technique once you feel there is good time for it. See kind of like what I'm painting here, what kind of picture I'm painting. You can keep striking them. And that's because if they don't really know how to escape this or to counter your grip, well, they do have a side exposed to you. You can kick them there in the ribs, for example, or strike them with your hand there in the ribs. You can do that if you don't want it to go to the ground, or you could maybe take it to the ground and then secure them with a knee to the chest, as in pressing into so that it hurts. You've seen this many times, like the police labs using that. Um, Maybe that way you only have like your arm basically, or if you're lucky, two arms, I guess. Your other legs are going to be making sure that you're in the right position to secure that person with your knee. But keep in mind, somebody can wiggle out of that, so it's unlikely. Like I would still just prefer to maintain a grip if I have to, and then try to confront like multiple people with that grip, like reapplying a bit of pain every now and then when the victim is not when the target is not compliant. Um, yeah, I don't think, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, if you directly go into a full blown fucking submission hold where you're like crawling like a slug and you got the other person like a fucking octopus, you're like literally like wrapped around them and you're like doing like multiple position securing and like chokes and holds and whatever. Yeah, if 50 guys jump you in that time, well, I don't know. I mean, that might not be possible, but that comes to the point where you have chosen wrong. You literally chose wrong. You didn't think it through. You just saw a person, they baited your aggression, and now they're getting choked and you're on the ground with them and you're winning this, and but now there's like 10 guys and you're about to lose your wallet and probably also your nuts. So yeah, I think that isn't a martial arts situation, but more like your strategy kind of sucked there. Like your approach kind of sucked. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's not always as easy um, as just going like which move I'll use. Nor is it as fucking railroaded as to say that, oh, you practice this art, okay, then you will never do anything but a full commitment to a move. But yeah, but a combat sport might have you thinking that way, and that's where the difference comes. Blech. Again, it's too difficult to analyze without any context. This is like literally, this is free falling with words. There's nothing. I can make up some situations in my head, but I can't like account for all this shit that this guy is trying to say, just to make sure I understand correctly what they're implying. Because like what is implied here? Let me
And
see.
because it relies on leverage, it's one of the few martial arts where a smaller person can control or finish someone
Yeah,
much
okay,
bigger. It's not
whatever, dude.
perfect. It doesn't deal with multiple attackers.
Yeah, it can. That's the thing. Like, okay, unless you're
Composed. It gives you a plan. You don't have to throw punches. You don't even have to hurt anyone permanently.
yeah, but you can.
With BJJ, you can end a fight by cutting off the blood supply to someone.
Even if you're like this, you can deal with multiple attackers. This is not such a commitment.
Brain or hyperextending a joint.
This would be relative commitment here, of course. For
Clean,
example.
effective, and fast. And because it relies on someone, you don't even they're down.
But here's the
BJJ
thing.
teaches you to stay composed. It gives you a plan. You don't have to throw punches. You don't even have to hurt anyone permanently.
Let me
With
reach that
BJJ, you can
again.
end a fight by cutting off the blood supply to someone's brain or hyper.
So, why would you choose an armbar like that when there's like perfectly functional armbars that you can do without this? Maybe you want to. I'm not sure. Basically, what this is, like, just to break it down to you, in case you don't understand what's happening. So this guy, right, our hero, let's say, they're stopping this guy's body from folding into their arm, so that this is useless, with their leg. Are we clear on that? Because yes, you're never going to be able to out lever this part of the body with this part of the body. So that part of the theory is correct. Okay. And then you're just simply pulling that, and because this is on your crotch, right? It doesn't present a danger. But because you're using your crotch or the inside of your thigh or whatever else you want to say to create like a stopper here, and then you're pulling beyond the elbows bending point backwards. That's what you're doing, but you're not taking into account two things. One of them is the person's ability um, to tense their muscle here enough to stop you from pulling back. Because as you're pulling, if they tense enough, you're now fighting your own system here. But it depends on their tendon and muscle strength, right? And their limb flexibility, which is another problem in and on itself, because if there is a lot of limb flexibility, this kind of stopper here might not be sufficient. And if that arm turns even slightly, rotates even slightly, you're starting to lose effectiveness. Are you still in a disadvantaged position as this person? Yes, relatively in relation to the other person, yes, you are. It would be difficult to do a lot there, other than depending on your flexibility, using your legs to strike at their head, or perhaps even trying to raise your body up and take the whole system airborne. At which point, this person is going to lose some advantage, and from there you can see there is no certain way. But all this is like overcomplication when in reality, I mean, it's still useful, of course, especially if you somehow end up there. It's useful to know, obviously, that you can do that. That's an option. Um, but if you want to apply a simple armbar that will let you deal with multiple opponents, because again, you have to break it down into what is my purpose and how will I do it. So armbar is your purpose, right? Okay, but is it does it have like extra parameters? Is it like armbar, but I want to be able to deal with multiple opponents, for example? Because then this option evaporates. This option right here, that shit evaporates immediately. Unless you can break the arm, break the elbow uh, immediately, and then like literally slip out of there. Maybe you roll away or something. Maybe, but why do it? It's extra steps. Instead, just do a proper armbar, which I'm not gonna explain right now how to do a proper armbar, which will result in a checkmate for the person unless they are like really really knowledgeable. I can tell you how to do that, but I won't today. But I will very soon. There is just like a few tricks to apply to an armbar to make it like super secure for you and super bad news for them. But do that, yeah, and then you can end up in a situation where you're not so committed and you're still holding some control. You know, um, that's like I think that's strategy more than a matter of like, oh, is it jiu-jitsu, but is it like kickboxing, but is it like it's just what you know and what you want to do, like always. Anyways,
For
yeah, let's
extending a
move on from
joint.
this
Clean,
bullshit.
effective, and fast. And because it relies on leverage, it's one of the few martial arts where a smaller person can control or finish someone much bigger. It's not perfect, it doesn't deal with multiple attackers well, and you don't want to stay on the ground if someone's friends are nearby. But one-on-one, especially in close contact, BJJ is one of the most practical systems for
No, it's not.
real-world survival.
No, no, not exclusively. No.
Krav Maga. Krav Maga was developed by the Israeli military for one purpose: real-world survival. It's not a sport. It has no rules, no competitions, and no
Oh wait, so now this guy is acknowledging that everything that they've said so far is a combat sport. Because when it comes to Krav Maga, they're saying there is no rules or competition or scoring,
scoring.
implying that they're aware that for everything they've said before. So then that turns the conversation into which combat sport would be effective in a dangerous situation, which means I have to rethink my answers. So, which combat sport What's the target? What are their capabilities? Let's assume like average. Let's assume the average person. So the average person, it's going to be either boxing or jiu-jitsu so far. Hmm, I'm gonna give it to boxing. I like simple stuff. So if we're talking a combat sport, so you are on purpose restricting yourself to the strict rules and scoring system of the combat sport, but you are in a real situation, quote unquote, boxing, I'd say. The only thing that I find kind of like difficult to gauge there is a person's own interpretation of the danger they're in and how they would react to it. Because if we're talking strict rules, then a boxer will probably not pursue you on the ground. They will not look to finish you. But then somebody who is into jiu-jitsu, let's say, they also might not finish you, and you can fake pain to have them think that their technique is applying. Okay, no, we said average target. Average target is not gonna think that. Okay, never mind. They're not gonna think any psychological manipulation or baiting or anything like that. They're not gonna think that. So, they're not gonna think. Let me think. Uh, but the thing is, the boxer as a combat sport practitioner, they would have a higher chance of like defeating you to begin with, to then go to the phase of, are they like bloodlusted and will they try to finish you, and which one would be more effective? Because that's like step two, let's say. But to get to step two, you have to get to step one. So step one would be the effectiveness and ease with which they would acquire a win in that situation. Which combat sport. I have to give it to the boxer. More chances across more scenarios. I'd have to give it to the boxer. If we're going by acknowledging that we're not talking about martial arts, we're talking about combat sports with rules, with competition, and the person being disciplined towards the scoring system, right? So yeah, boxing. Yeah, I'll say boxing has a higher chance to overcome an opponent, but that is also assuming just an average opponent who they themselves aren't like bloodlusted. They're just fighting for some reason. I don't know, like the honor of their boyfriend. I don't fucking know, something. Um, in those circumstances, and assuming like neutral terrain, just sidewalk or something with no obstacles, or easy to avoid like obstacles, I'd give it to boxing like 100%. Tiring simulation to run.
Every technique is built for high risk.
Then why is Krav Maga here then? Which again, I'm not acknowledging that this guy knows what they're talking about. I'm going by what they're saying. So they said
Krav Maga
that
was
Krav
developed by the
Maga
Israeli
is
military
developed
for one
by
purpose:
military
real-world
forces for
survival. It's not a sport. It has
survival,
no rules.
which is weird to me because what do you mean by that? But anyways, and then you have, because like all martial arts, I would think, are designed to ensure the survival of you. So they're all designed with survival in mind, you know? And even if we go by my theory, which I hope we are, since it's my stream, which is that there doesn't need to be separation between styles, then all combat systems, all techniques, everything assumes that it's done with the purpose of your survival, and not that of your opponent. I would think. I don't know, like correct me if I'm wrong, but I think learning something like of how to fight is basically so you can survive a fight. I would think. with my logic. So I don't know. I just don't buy all this bullshit of like, oh, this martial art was designed strictly by military. All martial arts were designed by militaries of their time almost, and by people who were of military minds and of strategic minds as well. Um, Few systems, and usually they don't do well, are designed in such a way where it is specifically mentioned that this system was never meant for you to learn and survive an encounter with a person. It really defeats the purpose of the thing existing. I don't care how peaceful you want to make things. That's your choice. I don't care how, you know, brutal you want to make it. That's also your choice, regardless of style and school of thought or whatever you want to call it. But all of martial arts, every single thing that you see in there is to facilitate and enable your survival and your victory over an opponent. So all this bullshit of Muay Thai is so brutal, you are brutal or you are not. Not the style. Oh, but Krav Maga is survival. All of them are survival. Oh, but they don't have rules and competitions and scoring. Yeah, no martial art ever did. Combat sports do, martial arts don't. As cringe as that sounds, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. It's combat sports. It's like combat sports. Martial arts in general, like the system that you're learning, hopefully, you know, unindoctrinated by the separations of styles. Again, as I said, what you're learning is without rules. It is without competition and it is without scoring. So saying Krav Maga has these things is like, okay, it's a compilation of striking techniques and manipulations. Period. Cool. That's every system. Thank you. So what? But anyway, the point comes to why is it in the list? Like, if according to this guy, Krav Maga has none of these, but the other ones do, then by this list's, definition, this is cheating. By its definition, like because then you can have like a segment which says gun. You can have a segment that says like, ICBM, tank, I don't know, car. I'll run you over with my car. No rules, no competition, no scoring unless it's Carmageddon or Distraction Derby. Car. I'll just get in my car that morning. I'll notice which routes you're taking when you're jogging. I'm gonna run you over, and well, basically, I win. It's very effective, especially effective on the ground. Because once you're on the ground, I can start like driving over you, and then putting it in reverse and driving it over. Like,
No competitions and no scoring. Every technique is built for high-risk, high-stress situations. Fast, violent, and unpredictable.
that is every single situation.
Training focuses on targeting weak points. That includes eye gouges, groin strikes, throat punches, and other
That is also all techniques ever.
disabling moves. It also includes defenses against guns, knives, and multiple
Good luck with the guns part.
attackers. The goal is to neutralize the threat immediately.
Is that a Shoryuken with a nice little last cheek? That's a nice thigh gap. That's a nice thigh gap. That's a nice ass cheek, I have to say.
And escape. Krav Maga doesn't waste time on perfect form. It trains you to respond under pressure,
That's all martial arts.
using natural reflexes and aggressive counterattacks.
You can put the aggressive in a parenthesis because that's just you. Natural. Okay. Natural. So basically, so 1 second. So my reflexes are unnatural? Holy shit! Hey, okay. Damn. Damn. Hey, why would I nerf myself? I don't want to fucking have natural reflexes. I want to have unnatural reflexes. I'm not gonna learn Krav Maga ever. Fuck that shit.
attacks. Everything is
Natural reflexes, okay.
designed to work when adrenaline is high and thinking is low.
When adrenaline is high and thinking is low, when that happens, practice under these conditions until adrenaline is high is unrelated to thinking is low or high. You know? There's no point in what this guy is saying. He's just saying things.
Low. It's effective in street scenarios because it assumes the attacker is dangerous,
Affective? Is it affectionate, you mean? I don't fucking know what he's trying to say.
possibly armed, and not fighting fair. The system prioritizes speed, aggression, and simple techniques that can be used by
That's every martial. You know what? It's okay.
anyone regardless of size or strength. It's especially useful when there's no time to grapple or trade punches. When the
I swear to God, listen here. I will only say one thing. I'm even letting the gun thing slide, okay? Because okay, let's talk about guns. Let's talk about the gun in the room, okay? You are going to try something, aren't you? Because if it's 100% death, you're not just gonna take it. Let's be clear about that. If it's 100% death or any reaction, even if that reaction has 0.00000000001% chance to succeed, are you just gonna take it? No. But can you train to the point of like, yes, you can train it. Okay, sure you can practice it. But my guy, gun usually means either game over or run. You know, because losing a fight doesn't mean that they win. It means that you return later when the gun is out of the equation and you kill them in their fucking sleep. But no, for real though. Like, I mean, that's also for real, but also for real, there are some very, 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 very specific situations where you might just, there may be a chance, okay? So why would you take the risk? You would take the risk because you have identified that it is one of these situations, one of these rare occurrences where the other person is fumbling with their pistol. Maybe you notice the safety is on. Maybe you notice there is no magazine inserted. Maybe, I don't know. Let's say that you identify a scenario in which you think that there is a chance that you can possibly disarm the attacker. Okay. When would you go for that chance? You would only go for that chance because this is the second layer, because the first layer we just defined it. But let's say it passes the first mental check. Now there should be a second mental check, which is it worth it? So here's the issue. Let's say that you took the chance. Now you could still be wrong. You could still be wrong. Not to mention, if there is another person in the room, how do you know they're not gonna draw a gun and like smoke you right there and then? So let's just say, but let's say it's strictly one-on-one and you've absolutely secured the fact it's one-on-one and there's no room for error. Okay, so it's basically you and them. All right, so it's just one-on-one. Okay, cool. And you've identified that maybe it's worth it. Maybe I have not. Maybe it's worth it, but maybe I have a chance. Okay. When is it worth it to even take that chance, even if you identify that there is a chance? There is only one answer here. There's only one answer. It's not a multiple answer question. It's one answer. It's only when you know in your little heart of hearts that in the next few seconds, that person is a billion, trillion, bazillion % going to pull the trigger. No matter what, they are determined and they will 100% going to pull the trigger. That is the only case in which the first step becomes relevant. Because if the first step was like, yeah, maybe there's a chance. Then if in the next step your answer is yes, they're going to kill me, then automatically you will react. Yes, okay. But is it like, does that mean that you should literally go and jump onto someone that is holding a gun and try to aggressively disarm them? You are insane. You are fucking insane. Not in the good way. Because even if it works, there's no guarantee that you can do it consistently. You might just die the next time. Like it's so basically what I'm saying, just to put it into perspective here, if it's a scenario in which you are passive and there is nothing else that you can do, and you are sure that the next few moments are the decision of your life, like literally, and you're also sure that, yeah, there is a small chance you can do something because the person just seems to be off balance, or they're holding it wrong, or they're overextending, some shit like that, maybe they're not aiming directly at your head, like, I don't fucking know, right? Then yes, you will react. But like to actively go after a guy with a gun, you're stupid. That's not bravery. You're stupid. In fact, you are a Big Mac of stupid because you're double stupid. Quarter pounder stupid. Because you put yourself to begin with in a situation where somebody with a gun can literally turn and aim it on you. So you are literally stupid. At which point, stop watching this and just, I don't know, go play something. I don't know. Go play some ball or something. Okay, go touch some grass. I don't fucking know. Because at that point you are stupid beyond fixing. I can't fix you. I can't fix you if you're thinking that you're going to actively assault someone with a firearm pointed at you. I think you're just too stupid to be alive. I'm sorry. I think you're probably going to perish at one point, and I'm really sorry for that. Save yourself. Yeah. So that's my take. That's my hot take on it. Because I'm also more about strategy, and so to me, like telling me, oh, you ended up in that situation, I'll be like, well, I don't give a shit. You figure it out then. I don't fucking know. I don't ever want to be in that situation. That situation fucking sucks. You know. You failed at least like the four previous steps, and anything that had to do with dialogue. you you failed everything. You failed your position. You failed your concealment. You failed your everything. Everything you wanted to do just failed, and now there is a gun pointed at you. Congratulations, you're stupid. What else do you want me to say? Moving on to what I really wanted to say.
Fair. The system prioritizes speed, aggression, and simple techniques.
That's everything. Aggression is your choice. Speed is your choice. Simplicity of technique is your choice. This is saying nothing and has nothing to do with any single style.
That can be used by anyone regardless of size or...
And now this is what I wanted to say. Can be used by anyone. Okay, what opponent would I prefer? Let me put it this way. What opponent would I prefer? Would I prefer somebody who doesn't know shit and is aware that they don't know shit? Or somebody who knows shit but isn't aware that they know shit? Or somebody who knows shit and are aware that they know shit? Or somebody, you see where I'm going with this? Because the option of choice, if I wanted to face if I would name the ideal victim, it would be somebody who doesn't know shit but thinks they know shit. That's my ideal opponent. And this is exactly the person described here. Even untrained Anthony can use this technique. It's simple, aggressive, and fast. Yes, please do, untrained Anthony. Please do. Please do that. All I have to do is just let you make a clown of yourself. I don't have to do anything. Everything you do is probably gonna backfire within 0.1 seconds. Everything. I might just extend my arm and everything you do might hurt you. Yes, please. Self-obliterate. Yes, please. Do that. Please, yeah. This kind of person who sees this and goes, oh, so even if I watch a video of Krav Maga, in my next fight, I can literally just like I'll do the move that I saw. You are so dead. You are so dead because you now have been tricked into having a mentality you shouldn't be having. You have put yourself psychologically in a position where you have no place being in. Uh, Physically, you have no leg to stand on, and soon you're gonna realize that literally your legs can't fucking hold you. Yes, please. Yes, please. And this is gonna give you like such amounts of like fake and fragile confidence that you're like, I wonder what your break first, your spirit or your body. So yes, this is the worst advice you can give anyone. I don't think that any any respectable, Krav Maga teacher is ever going to agree that like, oh yeah, step into my dojo, man, and like just watch carefully, and by the time that I tell you to leave the school in like 30 minutes, you're ready for a street fight, my guy. So if somebody tells you that, go to the corner store, buy like about a dozen yogurt cases, and start emptying them in the direction of that dojo, because that's like what they deserve. I'm sorry. If anybody tells you this, what this guy is telling you, not just for Scrub Maga, like for anything, yeah, you can safely like, you know, pelt them with yogurt and let them enjoy the stink.
or strength. It's especially useful when there's no time to grapple or trade punches. When
What do you mean no time to grapple or trade punches? I mean, a punch is a simple, effective, and fast strike. You're saying Krav Maga is simple, effective, and fast. What is the difference? None.
when the only option is to end the threat quickly.
The only option is to end the threat quickly. Gone. Bomb.
Wrestling. Wrestling is one of the oldest forms of combat, practiced for thousands of years and still dominant today in schools, Olympic sports, and professional fighting. It focuses on takedowns, body control, clinch strength, and staying on top.
Ooh. Hey now. Hey now. What is going on there? Is he jerking him off? Is that fisting? Is it fisting and jerking off with the other hand? With a kitchen with an oven glove? Oh my.
Wrestlers are trained to control where the fight happens, whether
What? Domain expansion. Hey, listen. I'm this is it. Domain expansion where the fight. Okay, cool.
it stays standing or hits the ground, and that makes them dangerous in any real-world situation.
Listen. Okay. Okay.
Most street fights are chaotic and short. A wrestler can end one fast by slamming someone to the pavement.
Listen. Yes, this will hurt. I will be the first person to tell you, and I have done so. Wrestling, the things that you learn, you can apply them. Okay? They can be applied, yes, but it requires immense amounts of skill, patience, discipline, setting up, everything. It's difficult. The result is often terminal, especially a maneuver like this, if done properly and your head doesn't enter the pavement. Ooh, boy. If this guy doesn't know how to escape this, which you can, by the way, like it is quite easy. Tekken has taught you how. You don't need me to teach you how to escape this. Tekken has. Bro, safe landing and just roll out of it. Literally. Literally. Very literally. Well, just roll, you know? Just legs here, fold them, fold head between knees so that you don't bang your fucking head on your own knees, and then create a suspension with your arms, and then suspend the fall, and roll gently out of it. Unless the wrestler knows what they're doing and they're expecting this, and they have already planned like the next move, which should be again some of that stuff you have actually legitimately seen in Tekken. Legitimately, that's why it's beautiful in some cases. But I'm not gonna go into that like what the wrestler can do here. But I'm just demonstrating that yes. But let's say that you don't know how to take this, you're dead. You're like this is a concussion. This is like severe injury immediately with one move. You're checkmate. Like that's it. But to get there, oh my god, the hoops you're gonna jump through. So yeah, you're like for this situation to happen, it means that this guy has failed so many QTEs, to put it simply, that this guy should probably go and play the lottery, like the national lottery, like literally the next day. Like literally, that guy should drop this guy like the moment that he realizes that this guy, that the technique worked, this guy should immediately stop and run to the local fucking store and be like, "Hey, you know, give me fucking, I want to play the lottery right now." Like he's gonna be winning. This guy is fucking. That's it. He's made. He's gonna pull 1 million out of his ass or something. Like legitimately. If this guy has any inkling of how like their body works or how combat works, like to any degree, they're never gonna be in that situation. And if you're asking me, if you're saying this, then why do you say it works? Because you have to set it up. You have to fucking, you have to distract them. You have to like, it has to come out of nowhere. You have to set it up or appear to them like it's coming out of nowhere. Like they shouldn't be, like the moment that they predict what you're gonna go for, you're fucked. Like, yeah, but if it works, is it the game over? Yeah, very likely. Is it unnecessary? Yeah, very likely. Is it fun? Yeah. Is it swag? Yes. Yes, it is. Would you do it if you could? Yes, you absolutely would. Like, trust me, you would. Because, like, yeah, unless you care for the well being of the recipient, of course. But if you don't care for the well being of the recipient, and, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. But yeah, don't do it, please. Unless you want to. I don't fucking know. I'm not condoning anything. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you your options, okay? And scenarios that I would see like for each option. Anyway, the point being, just outright stating. Here's why I'm laughing because just outright stating it will end the fight there and then. Ah.
On concrete, you don't need to strike. The impact alone can finish it. If the fight keeps going, top
Yo. So why are they doing this with wrestling? What's your problem?
oldest forms
1
of
second.
combat, practiced for thousands of years and still dominant today in schools,
Listen, even this is highly suspicious.
Olympic sports, and professional fighting. It
But
focuses on
then
takedowns, body
we start going into like some other territory here, some really obscure fan art.
control, clinch strength, and
Oh boy, now that I see this, all I got a picture is just another person behind this person, and
staying
let's
on
move
top.
on. Oh my god, then you have this.
Wrestlers are trained
I don't know what to say to you, whoever fucking illustrated
to
this,
control where the fight.
but that day, oh my god, you were horny. That day, you were such a naughty little boy or girl. I don't know whichever, doesn't matter.
Happens, whether
You
it
were
stays
very
standing or
naughty.
hits the ground, and that makes them dangerous in any real-world situation. Most street fights are chaotic and short. A wrestler can end one fast by slamming someone to the
And
pavement.
then you're
On
gonna
concrete,
hit
you
me
don't
with,
need to
with
strike. The
like,
impact
where is
alone can
it?
finish it. If the fight keeps going,
With this? You're gonna hit me with that like casually, like the inverted image, but on the pavement? What is this? Is this like after the club in an alley or something? What's going
top
on?
control allows the wrestler to hold position, shut down movement, and avoid damage,
Yeah, which is exactly what you said about Jiu-Jitsu.
even against bigger or stronger
Uh,
opponents. It also
all right, okay. So the bigger and stronger. So here's the thing. Wrestling. So here's the thing, and I found that out with like first-hand experience. So wrestling more than the rest of it does require more equal footing when it comes to size and strength. It does require more equal footing, or or at the very least, realistically, you have to accept. I don't care what you're gonna say. Realistically, you have to accept that you being in an advantageous position in terms of size and physical strength, lifting strength, all that shit, it makes it so much easier for wrestling specifically. You cannot, like, specifically for wrestling, you cannot tell me that size will not matter at all. Everywhere, size and strength and all that, and speed and reflexes and clarity of thought, all of that matters in every situation. It's just the percentages and thresholds that we're looking to fuck around with to produce a favorable outcome. And we're tweaking our movement, and we're tweaking our techniques to fit our body, right? To fit our body, our capabilities, everything. If a technique, which I've often said that enough, right? Um, or is it I've said that often enough? Yeah, I've said that often enough. If a technique cannot be changed and adapted to, let's say, 80% of a spectrum, of the human spectrum, including age, uh, gender, location, your clothing, like, then that technique needs to be discarded, because if it cannot be, for the larger part, not fully, but for a large part, okay, for the larger part, if it cannot be adapted to be done slow, to be done fast, to be performed with an injury, to be performed by someone who's like 13 years old and someone who is 51 years old, then that technique is useless for you. Does it? And then we go into other stuff like, does this method of striking, or does this manipulation put a lot of strain on your joints? Is it something that will damage you? Is it something that in the long run it will make your weak body even weaker? Will it cause problems with your skeletal structure? If yes, that technique needs to be discarded. It is useless going forward. um, what else do you want me to say? So with wrestling, yes, depending on your build and your physique and your stamina and your everything, right? Yeah, it can be used up to a late age. At least the principles behind it. And when I say to a late age, let's say to your 50s, maybe even 60s, depending on your build and your general, like, virility, to put it that way, and your fighting spirit, and like how well you're keeping your body and all that shit. Yeah, sure, it can. Um, but yeah, at the same time, never sacrifice your well-being for the sake of a technique. So if, for example, you love a technique where you're grabbing somebody and you're like throwing them in the air, and then you jump and grab them, and then you spin and like pile drive them, and let's say you love this and you train every day, but now you've reached like 60 years old, and every time you do it, you hear like two or three joints on your body cracking, and it hurts a little. And your solution is to eat more so that you are bulkier, so that you can still do the technique. That is a bad approach, because not only are you not adapting to your situation, not only are you not letting go of a technique that is obviously damaging you, but you're further causing damage in order to be able to perform the technique by bulking up even more at an age where you can have like a stroke, or you can have your heart failing you, or you can, like, you're getting what I'm saying here, right? And it's just not just with the case of wrestling, but wrestling, m- the techniques that might teach you, which you might want to use, are leaning a little bit towards that. I have to say, more so than other more practical shit. You know. But again, like, a good example is, again, like, Muay Thai, right? You want to go and like cleave trees? Okay, hey, how about you tell me what happens to your legs when you're 50 or 60? You know? What's gonna happen to your legs then? My God, these legs are not gonna be made for walking, and that's for sure. And that's not what they're gonna do, baby. Still, exceptions might apply. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, like there's ways to offset it, but what I'm trying to say is like it's impractical. This video has been a
Teaches how
fucking
to escape from bad spots. If someone
failure.
grabs you or drags you down, wrestling gives you the tools to stay calm and get out. The
You said the same things, my guy.
cardio
Just
and conditioned
get the
Japan
fuck
in the
out.
late 1800s by Jigoro Kano, built from traditional jujutsu but refined for
Efficiency. Efficiency.
efficiency and control. The
It's not built from, it's built with a T. It's built with a T. It's built
Fighters by
from.
Jigoro Kano
Which is not even correct. I don't give a shit anymore. He don't give a shit and I don't give a shit. He
built from
doesn't even know
traditional
what he's
jujutsu but
saying.
refined for efficiency and control. The focus is simple. Use your opponent's force against them.
Yeah, because no other art ever thought about, oh my
Instead of
fucking god, just move
overpowering,
on.
you redirect. Instead of chasing the fight, you wait for the opening, and then you throw. It teaches how to off-balance someone with minimal effort. Hip throws, sweeps, and trips are trained until they become automatic. Grip fighting becomes a key skill, and once you're in close, a well-timed throw can flip someone over with their own momentum. In a street fight, that kind of control is powerful.
No, it isn't. It isn't easy. It's not more powerful or less powerful.
One clean throw onto concrete can end the fight immediately.
You said the same for the. Oh my god, you're just repeating yourself.
Which makes judo especially useful in situations where you want to neutralize someone without legal consequences.
Without legal Woohoo! Oh my god! Ah! Bro. Bro!
Or visible damage. It also works well in close quarters, places where punches don't land.
That. Hmm. Hmm. I the thing I love the most, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even gonna comment because if you've heard me talk about martial arts, your bullshit detector is already like begging for mercy. It's literally begging for a mercy kill. Right throughout the whole fucking video, it's just crying. Literally crying. Crying. That thing is crying. But I'll say this. The way that this guy feels that he needs to define certain things, thereby implying that in other cases the opposite of these things is the case, is fucking a source of amusement, of endless amusement. So the so wrestling by implication, allowing you to use domain expansion and like Krav Maga being failed already because it is based on natural reflexes, whereas everything else is based on unnatural reflexes. and now, and now,
Have to strike, which makes judo especially useful in situations where you want to neutralize someone without legal consequences or visible damage.
and now we're talking about a situation where judo is the best murder instrument because you can absolutely kill someone and there will be no legal consequences. First of all, and second of all, nobody will be able to determine what happened exactly. They'll be like, hey, it's very clear. You fucking slaughtered this person with your bare arms. And you'll be like, yeah, but which technique did I use? Bitch, you can't prove shit. And also, I'm legal. Whoa! And now domain expansion. I switch my styling to fucking wrestling. Oh my god. And then you kill the detective in your domain. And nobody finds the corpse. and you jerk them off while you're also fisting them. Just like the scriptures, just like the scriptures ordain. Let me find again. Where is it? Don't hide it from me.
Body control, clinch strength, and staying on top.
There. Just like the prophecies mentioned. Domain expansion is bitch into fisting and jerking after you've killed their friend in a legal manner through judo, which can also not be detected.
Situations where you want to neutralize someone without legal consequences or visible damage. It also works well in close quarters, places where punches don't land clean and panic takes over. Judo gives you an answer when someone charges forward or grabs.
Damn. Damn. I'm not. I'm good. Don't worry. I'm actually okay. Let me sip some coffee. I'm not even gonna say anything about the chariot over there.
You in a rush. And once the fight hits the ground, judo transitions into basic pins and submissions. It's not as deep on the mat as Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but it gives you enough to stay on top and keep someone down. Sambo. Sambo was developed in the Soviet Union during the 1920s, created by military officers who studied judo, wrestling, and indigenous fighting styles to build one
Oh, okay.
thing. A system that works under pressure, not in theory, in the field.
In the failed. In the failed. So by implication, everything else works in theory. Every other combat sport we've seen, well, that works in theory. This one, no theory. It works practically. You don't even have to be taught. You just have it materializes. There's no theory. Nobody's taught. Nobody can teach you this. You literally just either you do it or you don't do it in the field.
Sambo became the official hand-to-hand combat system of the Red Army, and it shows. It trains for everything. Fast takedowns, slick throws, brutal leg locks, and gritty ground control.
Which is everything else is.
Where judo focuses on balance and control, Sambo...
You're even stealing the other guy's fucking icon. You're stealing your own icons.
pushes it further, adding raw aggression and a more complete...
But raw aggression is just a person. It's
submission
just
game.
Ah!
That Sambo, its more violent cousin, mixes strikes with throws.
What? All right, okay, just go on, just finish.
That means 1 second you're being punched, the next you're airborne, and then
1 second you're being punched, and the next you're airborne. But with every other style, you're only punched, unless punching is not permitted. In which case you're gonna be airborne, which is also not permitted. So you're basically not even fighting. What is even going on at this point? What? This is just like fun. This is like my immortal. This is literally my immortal. This is literally my immortal. Legit.
further, adding raw aggression and a more complete submission game. Combat Sambo, its more violent cousin.
So combat Sambo is Sambo but for combat, but Sambo is also for combat. Like designed in combat for the field. But combat Sambo is designed for the field in combat. It's like a Russian yin-yang, you know? There is combat Sambo, which is like Sambo for combat, and then there is Sambo for combat, which is like combat Sambo. And you create like a
mixes strikes
perpetual
that means
mechanism
being punched, the next you're airborne.
Of like punching people and then causing them to become airborne.
In a leg lock before you even know you've been taken down. In a street fight, that blend matters. Sambo doesn't care about clean technique. It's about speed.
Yeah, you don't have to do clean techniques because you don't need clean techniques. As I said, they just materialize. You don't even have to practice it. It's something that you conjure. It's something that just comes out, and it's like animalistic. Like shamanistic even. That's how they transmit the technique in the Russian army. They don't teach you. They inhale, industrial smog, and through that the knowledge is like just passed around. I don't fucking know, dude. Like, what is this guy?
Damage
I don't
and
know. What are
finishing
you?
fast. Fighters are
What do you mean finishing fast, winky face?
taught to thrive in scrambles when the position is messy and unpredictable.
If it's messy, you failed. If you're sloppy, you fail. You're worthless. You're shit. I'm sorry. The messier your technique, the less controllable, the less this and less that. And that doesn't mean it's stronger or better in any way. It means the opposite, you moron.
They're trained to stay calm.
Unpredictability has nothing to do with the system. It has to do with you, your creativity, your imagination. I'm tired. I'm just end it.
Calm and dangerous in the middle of
What the? Oh my god.
chaos. It also targets the legs in ways most martial arts don't.
Are you sure? Are you fucking sure? Because like that's a choice. That's a choice.
A sudden heel hook or knee bar can end a fight immediately, and it's especially effective against aggressive strikers because Sambo doesn't meet force with force. It redirects it and punishes overcommitment. I see red. The IC
What the fuck is the IC red? What the fuck is the IC red? I forgot about that. Okay, teach me.
red mentality isn't a martial art.
It's a mentality and not a martial art. What is it? A religion?
It's a mindset. The
It's a mindset.
kind your average, untrained Joe taps into when he becomes aggressive.
That's what they tap into.
It's not taught in a gym. You don't drill it on pads. It's a psychological response.
Bro, here is something you need to understand. Your feelings, including anger, okay, your feelings are not superpowers. I don't care if you're angry. I don't care if I'm angry. It doesn't matter. If you're priming yourself to be effective because you're angry, you're priming yourself to be clowned on. Because I will see that and I will take advantage of that, and you're gonna have like a huge problem, and it's gonna like backfire psychologically. I'll fucking break your mind before the fight starts. You're easy. There's nothing there. Like, that's bullshit. Sometimes you can take advantage of the physical functions a mind state can facilitate, but you will never surpass your own psychological, maybe even spiritual, and definitely physical limitations. In fact, it brings problems. You will become addicted to that. You will develop a psychology of the kind of I cannot function if I'm not angry. You will develop false information such as when I am angry, I am unstoppable. You will develop things that will, in the end, be your fucking undoing. There is no I see red. I can be a Tai Chi practitioner and I can get angry, like extremely angry. I can roar at you. I can practice Krav Maga and I can be a very low tone pacifist person. This is of all the things that this guy has said, which have been amusingly bad and misinformed, this is dangerous.
Mental switch that flips when your brain senses real danger. No coach teaches it, but it shows up in almost every real fight. This mindset is about commitment, not skill. It's the refusal to freeze, hesitate, or second guess.
No, it's not. It is. I assure you, it is not. I fucking promise you. All of this is 1000% false and dangerous.
Yes. In street fights, the person who moves first and doesn't stop usually wins. And that's true whether they're trained or not. You could be an expert in striking or grappling.
That has nothing to do with being angry. This has to do with having confidence and not hesitating to initiate contact first, if such is your purpose. If such is your purpose, there is this just an option.
But if you hesitate, it won't matter. I see red means full engagement. You act fast, you hit harder.
No, you can't. Because how you feel doesn't affect how fast you are. How you feel doesn't affect how hard you hit or how much punishment your body can take.
You follow through without pause.
No, your breathing might fail you. Your stamina might fail you. You might burn out after one punch. It means nothing. It's
It
stupid.
doesn't give you technique, but it activates what you already have. It
It doesn't activate anything. Nothing activates. There's no activation. There's nothing there. There's nothing. It's just feelings. You're just feeling angry.
turns muscle memory into real violence
There is no muscle memory. You just said it yourself. There is no training. There is nothing.
under pressure. That's why this mindset often separates the people who walk away from the ones
Separates. Separate tutte me ex infernis.
who don't. It doesn't make you invincible, and it's no replacement for training. But without it, training can fail when
No, training will not fail without it. It will not. I promise you. I can prove it to you. This is provable. Your training will not fail you, even when you are sad or in love. Even when you love your very enemy in front of you, your training will not fail you. This is part of your training to work beyond being confined by emotion or driven by emotion. For better or worse.
it matters most. That's also why military and police train high-stress, full-contact scenarios.
You can train high stress full contact scenarios to get used to the intensity of situations. It is not so that you see red.
Because skill without aggression doesn't hold up. Same
Yes, skill without aggression. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking hack. Oh my god, that guy's a grifter. I'm gonna block that fucking channel, I swear to god. I'm gonna fucking block that channel. That right there, it went from 0 to 100. It went from harmless misinformation to actually legitimately harmful rhetorics. All of that was like the whole video is like literally deserving of a garbage fire. Legitimately, this is just dog shit. My god, like the wrestling domain expansion, that's one thing. I can laugh with that. But when you're telling people martial arts without aggression, they don't work. Let me prove it to you. Let me just prove it to you. I've proven it to a lot of people. I've proven it to a black belt second dan fucking taekwondo person. They were angry. They were very angry with me. Do you know why they were angry with me? Because I wasn't angry. Because I supported that you don't have to be angry. You can just smile. You can just be happy because you're fighting. I was happy I was fighting. It was pissing them off. You know what they managed to do to me? Nothing. I didn't even fight back. I was just there. I was like, yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. It's not gonna hurt me. It never hurt me. Every fucking throw they tried, I knew how to get out of that. I was having fun. I was just being thrown around for zero damage. It was like a fucking roller coaster for free. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And then he was like, oh, but you can't like fight me with your fancy jumps and kicks. And I was like, yeah, let me show you right now. Let me show you right now, motherfucker. You're not gonna even see it coming. Like right in front of your eyes, I'm gonna spin in the fucking air and strike at you twice, and you will not even see it. He didn't even see it. Second dan, bro. I had a yellow belt. I still have a yellow belt in nothing. Literally, in Harangdo. That shit doesn't have belts. You know, unless you want to. Depends, of course. Like which part of it you're gonna take. I think the official part is like, yes, it has belts. It has a belt system, yeah. But me, I don't know, man. I gave up. I didn't care about belts anymore. I was like, yeah, just whatever. I just learned because it was fun. all I did. I stopped at the yellow belt, I think, or the orange one or the other. I don't remember. Quite honestly, I don't even fucking care. I spent about a year to a year and a half for my exams each time, and I think I took maybe 3 exams. That's it. That's all I did. But let me tell you, I know a lot more than a lot more people. It seems, at least to me, from what I've seen with my own very 2 eyes, I guess. But my sample isn't huge. It's like, I don't fucking know, maybe 4 dojos or something. 5 dojos, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that guy was horrible. And it was also like infuriating for me because we were going at the same school. We had the same teacher. So what the fuck? How are you failing so hard? Yeah, he didn't like that. He did not fucking like that. Let me tell you that. He did not fucking like that. Thomas was his name. Well, the Greek equivalent, Thomas. That was his name. He was around 30. He was in his early 30s. He was the typical, kind of hardcore person when it comes to like Taekwondo. Man, black belt and second dan with the same teacher as me. And that was his behavior. And that was also the limit of his knowledge. My God. Anyways, yeah, I can prove to you that it doesn't matter how angry you are or any other emotion. It just doesn't matter. Maybe you're also afraid. It doesn't matter. Maybe you're literally shaking. It doesn't matter. Your training will not fail you. You will fight. You will fucking manage to do something. If you have been taught, sorry, not taught, taught properly, your training will not fail you because of your emotions. Of course, within reason, right? If you really just had no fighting spirit to begin with, no confidence, no nothing, like basically you failed your training, then yeah, you're not gonna magically perform. That's true. Like at that point, you're probably gonna break and be like, okay, fuck it, just drop like whatever I'm holding and run. Sure, but if you have really just gone through your training properly and it kind of clicked and you vibed and like it went into your fucking brain and into your fucking heart, then even if you're afraid, you will pull through. You will perform. Your train will not fail you. It's simple as that. And also part of why we say usually if somebody fails, it's not the style that failed, it's the person that failed. As simple as that. So yeah. But again, you have to understand that there are no styles. So modify this to martial arts training didn't fail, the person failed. There we go. Anyway, that video was a load of bullshit on a level where holy fuck, like okay, cool. And I didn't even go into the historical facts because I myself am not an expert and I never fucking cared. But it would be also funny if somebody fucking debunked all that shit as well. It might be still correct, but I can't debunk or confirm it because I'm not an expert in like the history of martial arts. I'm just, I guess, knowledgeable about martial arts, but not their history, which is fine. I don't need the history part. I don't care too much about it. I'll be honest. And so yeah, what a weird what a weird video, dude. Like I cannot believe like that was so weird. Like the misconceptions, right? And everything. Like, holy shit. That was so weird. That was so weird. I don't fucking know. I will refrain from watching any videos from that channel. That was absolutely, especially like the stuff in the end was dangerous. The stuff in the end was dangerous, legitimately, because depending on the situation and how much you take, how seriously you take that, you might work yourself into a state of like frenzy, which will probably result in some kind of like veins popping at one point, and from there, you're not far from a stroke. So it can also like that can also be dangerous. So I don't know, dude. Anyway, disgusting video. Thanks for watching, and I'll refrain from watching any of those videos again, like that particular channel, because that's like harmful and misinforming. So yeah, we're not gonna do that, obviously. But I do have my next video for next Saturday already selected from my backlog, and also we don't have that much backlog. Like it's clearing up. Let's go, and that's good actually. But thanks for watching. I'm gonna fuck off and all good. Love the stream. Yeah, yeah, all is good. Um, well, excepting the video we just watched being a complete and utter garbage fire. But yeah, that's fine. You love the stream. Okay, I'm glad to hear. But yeah, you got me while I was running away. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I hope it was good background noise. At the very least, I hope maybe you like got some food for thought, or I don't know, something like that at least. If not, so be it. It's fine. But I do hope you got a laugh. I got a laugh for sure. I had a laugh here. That was fun. Not necessarily in a good way because of how bad the video was, but sure, the domain expansion and the undetectable and legal murdering through judo was also something that I will treasure. That was like perfect. That was perfect. Also, the perpetual cycle of combat sambo and sambo for combat was also a key moment, I think, in anyone's martial arts journey. Demonstrating like you know it's the Ouroboros of martial arts, right? It's the self-consuming serpent of martial arts. I don't know, dude. This video was broken. This fucking video was broken in so many ways. I particularly loved the artwork, like the illustrations of the hand jerking plus like uh, oven mitten fisting. That was interesting. Um, I liked a lot of the illustrations. Were very interesting to look at for sure. Um but wrestling, I have to say, was at this point better animated than the third season of fucking One Punch Man. And probably better illustrated as well, or at least more interestingly illustrated, definitely. And with that, I'm gonna leave you, and I'll see you on Monday or something. Okay? I gotta go mod. I gotta go have a snack and then mod because that's what I want to do. There's no stopping it. You can't stop it. You know, you can fucking stop me. I do whatever the fuck I want. You have no say in my life, and you can't prove anything. You can't prove. You know what? You know what? You better be ready for the zero legal consequences moves that are coming your way, buddy. Nobody will even fucking detect it. Even if I tell you right now, I'm gonna fucking judo your ass out of my legal consequences, you have no fucking idea what I can do now that I know exactly all I need. Literally, all I need is one piece of paper confirming that I'm practicing judo and I'm out there fucking murdering on a murder spree, on a legal murder spree. Okay, that's all I need. Just confirmation that I'm learning judo. After that, you're all my bitches. It's gonna be Mortal Kombat out there. It's gonna be death. It's gonna be a fight to the death every fucking time I step outside in the in the world. The world is gonna become my fucking battlefield. It's gonna be my martial arts altar, my judo altar. Listen, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm gonna